Hi, friends. I welcome you all in this 18th episode of Mindfulness. You must be knowing that we started this series with the intention that we'll have unfiltered conversation. In our first series, we had 5 episodes where we talked to the different Toastmasters and try to understand about their journey with respect to public speaking, what they have learned, and what is their experience so far. Then we started our second journey with respect to the mindfulness, and our first episode was on 1st of June 2024. That was with Shweta Bansali, who is in front of us. And then after that, we had 10 different guests who talked about different things with respect to the mindfulness. And it has been an excellent journey. I don't know how much you have enjoyed it, how much you have learned it, but I can very well assure you that me and Shweta are the best or the most beneficiary of these 11 episodes, wherein different people talked about their perspective of mindfulness in their own way. They used different words like self love. Some talked about mindfulness, some talked about change is the only constant thing in life, and there are so many things. In this episode, along with me is my colleague Shweta Bansali. She is a nanotechnologist who is an entrepreneur and doing research with respect to that. She's also an NLP practitioner, and she has been a wonderful co-host in this entire journey of 11 episodes. Now, in this episode, our objective is that what all we learned in this 11 episodes, why not review that? Why not relearn that? Why not refresh the memories about what all we have gone through that? And to help us in that, we have got another good friend, Himanshu Joshi, who will be a moderator in this particular episode, who is going to discuss about all the things that we discussed in the last 11 episodes of mindfulness and what is the reflection with respect to that. That's a key objective of that. So let me call on Mike Himanshu Joshi. Hi Himanshu, how are you doing?
Hello, Bhavya sir. Hello, Shweta. How are you too?
We all are
Very
doing
good,
wonderful.
very good.
First of all, huge thanks to both of you to invite me in this episode of yours, and I was looking forward to. Even I was thinking how would I fit in, but yeah, you guys gave me a chance, and I'm very happy to be here.
Wonderful.
It is our
So,
pleasure.
Himanshu, before you ask the question, let me ask this question to you. How has been your experience with respect to this journey of this 11 episodes of this mindfulness so far?
Uh, Let me start with the obvious. See, I've been following you for quite a while now in your YouTube channel, and you started this journey with unfiltered conversation, wherein there was no specific key points, but it was just a basic conversation without any, as the word suggests, unfiltered. So that was going in a way which I actually expected, and it was very wonderful to listen that. But with the introduction of Shweta and the concept mindfulness, that was a very game, you can say, game changing thing which I experienced. There were many people you called upon as guests, and the topics that were discussed, that was quite intriguing, that was quite different, and people including me have learned things that should be in a different aspect. So yeah, my experience was wonderful. Even I was like relating myself to each and everything that was discussed during that podcast show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Himanshu. Thanks for following all that. So, what we are going to do today, Himanshu, how we are going to take it further?
So as I said, things were quite different which I expected, and even I was able to relate. And very interesting thing happened in your entire journey of mindfulness. So let's start with the obvious. I have some, topics to discuss, and I believe that should be done rightly today. First of all, Bhavya sir, it's for you, not for Shweta, but for you specifically. Mindfulness is something that which have a general meaning to be aware of what you are sensing, right? But when you started with this particular thing, what was going through your mind? I mean, what was the main purpose? How you wanted to have this happen?
Uh, you mean to say what exactly the meaning of mindfulness from my perspective? You mean
Yes,
to
exactly.
understand that?
Yeah.
Well, if I talk about myself, then I've always seen my mind going up and down. So many thoughts are coming. Maybe when I'm doing office work, I'm thinking about this thing. When I'm at home, I'm thinking about office. Maybe like I'm sitting here, but maybe I'm thinking about the next episode. So the point is that when I am doing like this, then I'm depleting a lot of my energy. But the more I am bringing myself to the present, where I am at this particular point of time, then at that time I've got abundant energy. And at that time, I always feel that I'm at my best, because I've seen myself at many times that I'm talking many things, maybe some jokes, and so many things are happening. And I've seen that all those things happen only when I'm in the present moment, when my mind is relaxed and calm. At that, automatically something happens from somewhere. And I always feel that when I am in the present moment, at that time I feel very relaxed and I never feel any tiredness. So I think this is my way of talking about mindfulness. Shweta, I think you may have something similar or maybe some different aspect to it.
Yes, Bhavya, it's something similar. And again, Himanshu, thank you for bringing this topic first because that was what our series was all about, mindfulness. I think people live their lives. Sometimes they know that, yes, being mindful is very important, but still they are running. Even in their thoughts, in their actions, everywhere, they are running. They want to run to the future, they are running in the past. But when we are in this moment, we are actually living. Because when the end moment comes, that will be neither the past nor the future. That would be the present. So if we are
Yeah.
not living completely aware of this moment, then we are not enjoying the moment at all or living this life as well. Awareness is very important. That's what being mindful is all about.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for putting light into that. I mean, that was the main purpose why you guys started this thing, and obviously, that purpose is fulfilled whenever you called a guest, and different aspect was shared during that journey. Um, this is for both of you. Uh, I have seen in your entire series that you called upon different guests, and they all had their different experiences to share, right? They all shared their experiences irrespective to one particular thing. But every guest who came, when they shared their experience, they shared that how they cope up with it. So how you guys felt when you get to hear their experience, how how they saw things from their point of view. So how was your experience in that? Starting with you, sir.
So let me just take the example of Tanvi. Uh, she talked a lot with respect to self-love. I think that was the core uh, of which we discussed throughout the 30-minute session.
Yes.
And when she was talking about self-love, the intent was that unless and until you love yourself, you cannot love others. Unless and until you have a self-belief about yourself, unless and until you think good about yourself, you cannot think good about others. And if we are just trying to please other people, we are just trying to make others people happy, trying to show them that how good you are for them and all that, it's all artificial. So in case you want to be your natural self, in case you want to be yourself, the most important thing is, first of all, you have to start loving yourself. And once you start loving yourself, then it becomes very easy to, you don't need to try anything, or the efforts are not there, it's effortless. So I think this is one of the things which I would like to share. Shweta, any thoughts from your side? Anything else
Yes,
apart from this?
definitely, Bhavya. It was an amazing take on Tanvi's episode. I think all the episodes gave us too much, Himanshu, to actually absorb and apply both. Some of the things we already knew, we also do in our lives, but some of the things we learned because of their perspective of seeing mindfulness from their personal and professional journeys, how they apply mindfulness, what do they do to be aware and to absorb and to apply. So, for example, I remember two of the episodes. There was this second episode of Mr. Dinesh Pahuja. He talked about inner gardening. That was very interesting take for me. That, gardening, we talk about plants and all, But what is inner gardening? I wanted to understand. And his take was so beautiful. I also read his article on it. It was all about thoughts, how beautifully you are taking care of that, how beautifully you are watering that, how you are going from negative to positive, why it is important. So, this inner gardening concept was something that stayed with me even until now, though it was in the second episode of mindfulness. Then there was one episode which was not so long ago of Mr. Smurth Bali. That was the way he described meditation. That example stays with me. I mean, I can share if you guys would again like to know. It was about Buddha and Anand and
Yeah.
how they were going on a journey. And Buddha asked Anand that, can you grab me a water from the stream which was like left behind? There was a little bit of the kind of a downfall over there, okay, from where the bullock
Mhm.
carts can pass. Like that, it was the stream. So Anand said, the stream over here is clearer. Why can't we take the water from here? Then Buddha said, there's a reason I'm saying this. Kindly bring water from there only. So, with due respect, Anand took the vessel and went there. Then he saw a lot of bullock carts passing. So, obviously, if it was passing, the mud will keep moving up, right, because of the movement. So, the stream was not clean, it was full of mud. So, then he went to Buddha and he said that, how can I bring the drinking water for you? It is full, it is dirty right now. He said that, go there, wait for some time, you will get the clear water. He went there again. There was another bullock cart passing, and he saw mud again moving up. Then he said, okay, let me wait. When he waited, he saw the mud settling down and the clear water moving down, the clear water stream. He took the vessel and he was just there observing that water movement. You know, how mud is settling, how water is moving. He was not like budged by anything happening around him. So he took the water and he realized that few days ago he asked Buddha that what is actually meditation, or you can say mindfulness. Then Buddha, because of his maybe he was very occupied, he said we will discuss this another time. So through this process, he actually answered that what is meditation. He went there and he told Buddha, thank you. Then Buddha said, you brought water for me. Why you are saying thank you? Then he said, I understood the meaning of meditation today. This mud is settling down, the moving of water, and we flowing with life without touched by what is happening around us. It's the beautiful form of meditation only. So that stayed with me actually. And if we can let any negativity settle down, positivity rise, and be observing and being aware is enough to describe mindfulness or meditation. So that's what I would like to say. I really love this example.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
I would totally agree with you on that because there was one thing also Smart said in his uh, take on mindfulness, that mindfulness always has a different meaning to each and every one of us. I mean, there's a common meaning to mindfulness, but everyone who do understand it takes in a very different aspect. But that also helps with the purpose why mindfulness is meant to them. So yeah, that was something that I did take from that particular episode, and he beautifully explained why people have different aspect of mindfulness. But they do, even if they have a different meaning, they still do, and that is one thing that I was, quite intrigued to hear about. And yeah, that was one of the great things that I heard. Uh, One thing I heard in one of your episode during your journey, and that was with Suresh. So one thing he said, that change are necessary. Now, as you also discussed before, Tanvi did describe about self love, right? And there were few other guests who talked about different things. But this one thing that hit me the most, that changes are necessary, right? So there are few things that people do to improve themselves. There are few things that people do to improve their lives. Changes is something that people might take it in a positive way, in a negative way. But what's your take when someone says that change is necessary in any aspect? But when they say change is necessary, what's your take on that?
So, Himanshu, let me say something and then maybe Shweta can add more about it. So, what Sureshji was trying to tell was that change is the only constant thing in life and everything is going to change. At times, it happens that we want status quo in everything that we are doing. It could be as simple as that I want that my hairs should be black, but they will not remain black. I want my hair should be full of, my head should be full of hairs, but it will not be like that. I want my skin to be a certain texture, but it is not going to be like that. Something similar has happened with our relationship also. We think that our child should always be with us, but they are not going to live with us. We want that our job or money is always going to be like that, but that never happens. But then somehow we just try to hold all those things, and the more we try to hold, it creates more pain, it creates more challenge to it. So that's what he was trying to say, that change is the only constant thing in life. Everything is going to change. So try to accept it as early as possible, so that whenever something like that is going to happen, which is actually bound to happen, then you are there to accept it, and there is less pain or no pain with respect to whenever change is happening. So I think this is something what I could understand what he was trying to say. Shweta, maybe you can add more about it, your perspective to it.
Yeah, Bhavya, you have already explained it very beautifully that by accepting the change, that's what I was about to actually put weightage on. That change is happening. For example, Imanshu, what we were as children, we are not right now. Change is already happening. Yes, inner child should be alive. You shouldn't be like with the change, you shouldn't become like this mature and serious. You can live life, you can flow with life, you can enjoy life, but it is very important to accept the change happening in life. If you're not able to accept, that will create the emotion that shouldn't be there inside us. It could be pain, it could be negativity, it could be a lot of greed or jealousy, all these negative emotions. But when we are able to accept the change that yes, this is happening and this I accept it with all my heart and soul, then you move ahead with that smile on your face that transcends your energy. And in Mr. Suresh's episode, there was one very beautiful thing he said that when you accept the change, you actually know that what is happening like around you also or inside you also, both the ways. Because there is one is inner world, one is outer world. So it was very important to understand that as well. And because he's an art of living teacher, he explained it very wonderfully well in different perspectives as well. And three pillars that I also follow is always service, seva, sadhana, satsang, which is service, mindfulness or meditation, and good company. So if you have these three things around you, you're already able to accept the change and flow with life. That's what I would like to say from that episode.
Wonderful, Shweta. Wonderful.
Thank you so much for putting
Himanshu,
your
what are your thoughts about it before
Exactly.
you're going to go ahead with
changes,
next?
about the
Yeah.
changes, right? See, I do agree with you. And when I saw that episode, as I said before, there are many things that I really took within with me while watching that episode. And I do believe that changes are, as you said, Bhavya sir, is one thing that is very constant that would happen at one point or another, but that is destined to take. So my life was constant. Let me share my experience in brief way. My life was constant. I was literally hanging in a, in a fixed point. I was at that point wherein I thought that okay, this is going well, this is going fine, and I am okay with it. But when a person sees that if a little point is shifted from here to there, that might change your whole experience. So what I did, I made a bit change. That changing that changed a lot. Many things were changed. For me, I experience new things. For me, even though I'm sitting with you guys, this is something I wouldn't have imagined that I would be doing such thing. But then again, this was one thing that I had to do. This was one thing that I needed to do. Why? Because I was limited to certain things. I was limiting myself. But having changes in life makes me understand that your life can be improved. Your things can be looked upon with a different aspect, and when you see that with a different aspect, you would see that it has a huge potential. So for me, I guess you are right in that point. Changes is one thing that always happens, and if it happens, it is a very good thing. You see everything differently. So I really took that with me, and I believe everyone who watched that particular episode, they took the same.
Mhm. Wonderful.
So let's move on with another thing
Yeah.
that might be similar to this thing, but uh, I saw one episode of yours which was with Vishal, and I saw that he changed his personal life towards a spiritual one. Am I right? Right. So uh, I was intrigued to think about it, that spiritual journey, people say that it is a good step to take when you go towards a spiritual journey. But what was going through my mind is, is it as difficult as your normal journey in your life? Because spiritual journey is like you have a specific goal when you move towards it. So I believe you both can share your light on it. Is it very difficult for someone who move towards a spiritual journey? Because some might succeed in it, but some might face a bit difficulty when they go towards it, because they always recall all the things that have been happening in the past. So what's your take on it?
So let me share what I could recollect from the discussion what we had with Vishal Gupta. So I think if you can remember that he was talking about that his relationship was not going in the best of the time with his
Yes.
wife, and the job was also not going that great. But when he started this spiritual journey, then everything changed. Now his relationship with his wife has become much better. Now whatever he is doing in his career is even better, and the reason is that because there were many things what generally people do out of fear. Say for example, I'm doing job, I'm doing work not because I want to do it, I'm enjoying it, but just because I know that my boss is there, or my promotion is going to delayed, or maybe my increment will be low, or maybe something else is going to happen, or maybe somebody else can go further than me. So majority of the times we are not doing things because we want to do it, but we are doing things because we are fearful about something. But then what he was trying to say, that when he started his spiritual journey, then he realized and that he become more powerful, he become more empowered, and then he realized that these are more of the petty things which he was fearing, but actually they were stopping him. But with the spiritual journey, life become much more simpler and easier. Shweta, maybe you can add more, or maybe you have a different perspective about that, because there are many people who talked about this particular episode and appreciated many things about what Vishal Gupta talked about that.
Yeah, yeah, Bhavya, because he was one of the, I think, change maker going from like TCS he was working for, right? He was the ex-employee of TCS.
Yeah.
And then leaving everything over there and going on a journey which was all about the inner world. And then helping people also realize, because he is a guide, he is a spiritual coach, he is a life coach. So, sorry, relationship and life coach. So it was like very important because the problem in his relationship triggered that thing in him, that okay, I need to go. I'm really sorry. Yeah, I need to go from this space, from outer world perspective to my inner world perspective, and understand that where I can actually go right. That's what he was trying to see in himself. And the calmness and the calmness and the positivity with which he was sharing. showed the difference, that he has done in his journey. Because the more you are aware, the more. Let's start with a very simple example, Himanshu. We are breathing right now. Are we aware of our breath? That is a very simple thing, but we are just breathing, taking it for granted that yes, we are breathing. But if we can, you know, breathe very nicely, breathing also have a different perspective in different emotions. Think about it. When we are angry, our breathing is different. When we are crying, our breathing is different. When we are anxious, breathing is different. What is creating that? Your inner world. But when we are aware that yes, this breath is going on from one nostril to other nostril coming out, is letting us realize that yes, we are aware. And Vishal Gupta's episode was all about how one person can leave everything and give importance to this inner world. It was not easy journey for him, if you remember.
Yep.
First 2 years, he said he was just surviving, but then suddenly things started happening to him. When we learn something or when we want to do something, it's not important it will always be bed of roses. But when you are aware and you know what you are doing is right, to bring awareness amongst the people also and let them also realize what he realized for his relationship, then it becomes a bed of roses sooner or later. That's what I would like to add.
Greatly said. I mean, that was something everyone who saw that episode, they must have felt how Suresh Vishal went from that journey to this, and things got different, but it was in a positive way. So yeah, that was something that people saw, and that was something that was actually learn things that we would learn from, right? uh I know we have a crunch of time, so let's discuss one major thing.
Yep.
And I really wanted to discuss this because it was a very different take of what we usually say in our daily life. So we all say, generally you might have seen a lot, Shweta, that always have positive thoughts and just remove the negative ones, right? That is one quote that we always say in our daily lives. But when I saw your episode with Harpreet, I saw one quote that he said, and I was quite looking forward to discuss with this. He said that we need to learn things and we need to unlearn things. So when I saw that code, I heard that code, I was like, it might have some relevance with the same that move negative and include positive. But when I thought about it, I saw it in a very different perspective. I saw that it was said in a very gentle manner that you should learn things. And as we discussed before, changes are always constantly there in our life. So when we learn things, we always tend to unlearn things which we have seen in our entire lives and which we think that is, either not healthy or either not improving our lives. So that was one thing that I wanted to, talk about. And I believe you guys, when you took his interview on that podcast, you also might have, thought about it that this is something that is very uniquely said in a different way. So, what's your take on that?
Shweta, please.
So that is also one of the episode I was looking forward to because Harpreet ji always have very beautiful perspective about things. If you remember, the question that we asked him was regarding the studies he did during the COVID times and all, and even afterwards as well. Why he studied, what was the reason behind it, and everything. Then he said that you have to keep learning. Sometimes the things are actually changing as we talk. Everything is interrelated, as we always say. So some things are changing at a very large scale. Correct. And when things are changing and you have changing and you have accepted that, you have to learn those new things. It can be regarding your profession, it can be regarding the inner journey you are taking it. Because not everybody knows, for example, even people sometimes ask how to meditate. So, what he was doing was related to his profession. He wanted to learn new things, to unlearn the things he already knew. Then only he was able to learn those new things, accepting the changes that were happening in that scenario. Because AI was coming and lot of things were happening. So he said that he didn't wanted himself to lag behind. And I believe that this is a cycle that happens. With awareness comes acceptance. With acceptance comes a lot of curiosity to learn. Because when you will have that curiosity, you will be able to see, okay, these are the changes happening in my profession. Oh, I should learn that. And he's a brave and a very good example. There is no ending to learning. You have to keep learning because his way of answering was so subtle and so true that he said, Shweta, you have to. Like, once if I am at the level 0 and I know my profession has gone to level 10, I can't take what I have learned at 0 level to 10th level. I have to learn the steps to reach to the 10th level. So that was my takeaway. There were a lot of takeaways from Harpreet ji's episode and every episode. But I would like Bhavya, you also add on to it. That's what I would like to say.
I think apart from what you said about what P. Singh was trying to say, another important aspect is that when you have to learn something, you have to unlearn something. It is as simple as that. Say, for example, I'm used to going to a bank to deposit the money, but now the technology has changed. I can do it on my laptop. So now I don't want to change myself because I think I'm doing that for the last 20 years, and that is the only right and the safest way. So I'm not going to learn something. So in case I have to learn something new, I have to first unlearn that there can be some better ways, there can be some better avenues which can be utilized, and that is only possible when we are open to learn something new. But when we think and say that no, I know everything and whatever I am doing is the best, then the possibility
Yeah.
is very less that we can learn something new. Like a very common metaphor which is said that in case there is a rain which is coming, so how is a glass? It is on this form or it is in this form. If it is in this, the water is going to come inside, but if it is this, in spite of any rain, you cannot get anything. So the intent is that to learn something, you have to leave something, the baggage what you are carrying, and only then there will be some space wherein you can add something new.
Yeah.
So I think that's what was the intent. And I think, Himanshu, you asked some very relevant questions, and I think you covered almost all the 11 episodes from all the people who came here and who talked about the different aspects. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time going through the different videos and asking the pertinent questions. And thank you, Shweta, also for being a wonderful co-host. Uh, I think whatever comments that I have got, majority of the comments that were coming were because of you, because you have been a wonderful co-host, and the way in which you asked the question, the way you responded to certain questions, and the kind of charisma you are having, I think that's amazing. Thank you very much for your support, and thank you
Thank
very much,
you.
audience, for watching this entire series of 11 episodes with respect to the mindfulness. As in the beginning, what Himanshu was talking about was Suriji said that change is the only constant thing in life. So there will be a change in topic, and the next topic or the next series will be with respect to the writers. We all know that there are many books which are written by many people. So what is the process behind that? How to write? What are the different mental blocks that we are having at that time? What is the motivation to write, and what are the challenges that we face after writing and at the time of publishing, and what is the key takeaway once we write a book? I think these will be the certain questions that will be answered by many of the upcoming writers in the coming episodes. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for watching this
Thank
episode.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Shweta.
Bhavya, for being the best, not only the co host, I would say, a person from whom I learn a lot. And I hope, just like Himanshu had so many takeaways, I hope all the viewers who had come, whether live or otherwise, had lots of takeaways from this mindfulness series because that was our motto. We also learned a lot and we are applying now in our lives. And I hope so. You all stay mindful as well. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Himanshu, for your valuable questions and time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much and see you again next week. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.